Dart School presents Working with Integers. When you look at the number line, when you were young and you didn't learn about negative numbers, you might have thought that the number line starts at 0 and then you have all the positive numbers like 1, 2, 3 and so on. There's no end to that list of numbers. Therefore, you put an arrowhead in the end. That's all too fine. But you would have thought that the number line is only on one side and the smallest number is 0. But the fact of the matter is that the same exact thing is replicated on the other side. And the number 0 actually acts as a mirror. The numbers to the right of 0 are as if reflected on this mirror to the other side of 0, and therefore you have a negative 1 followed by a negative 2 and then a negative 3 and a negative 4 and so on. And then there's no end to the number line on this side as well. So you put another arrowhead just like the other side. All these numbers that you see are called the integers. The numbers to the right of 0 are called the positive integers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on, these are called the positive integers. Positive integers. On the other hand, you have the negative integers as negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4 and so on. Negative integers. And 0 does count as an integer, but it's neither positive nor negative. So 0 is an integer as well. Are the integers the only numbers that come up in our math? Not really. We do have the fractions and the decimals in between the integers. For example, the number exactly halfway between 0 and 1 is the fraction 1/2 or the decimal 0.5. And if you go the same distance on the other side of 0, you land up at the fraction negative 1/2 or the decimal number negative 0.5. So any number and its negative are always the same distance from 0 on its opposite sides. And we need to keep in mind that the numbers on the number line always increase from left to right. The smaller numbers are on the left and the larger numbers are always on the right. So if you were to arrange these integers from smallest to largest, negative 4 would be the smallest on this list and positive 4 would be the largest. Note that on the negative side of 0, the ordering is just the opposite of what you have on this side. What I mean is, the number 1 is less than, let's say, the number 3. 1 is less than 3, we all know that. But if you talk about negative 1 and negative 3, negative 1 is larger than negative 3 because negative 3 lies on the left of negative 1 on the number line. Between two numbers, whoever is on the left is the smaller, whoever is on the right is the larger. Let's try and arrange a set of numbers. Let's say negative 8, 2, negative 1, 5, negative 10, and let's have 6. Let's try and arrange these numbers from smallest to largest. You should first try and understand that the negatives will always be smaller than the positives, as you can see over here. So we could just take the negatives on the left, let's say negative 8 and we have a negative 1 and negative 10. We are going to rearrange these in the next step. And then we have a 2, we have a 5, we have a 6 and we know that order. 2, 5 and 6. They are already in order. Smallest on this side, largest on this side, but we are yet to arrange this set of numbers that are negatives. Now between negative 8, negative 1 and negative 10, as I had said, for the negatives, the rule is just the opposite. So if you were to arrange 8, 1 and 10, you would write down 1 and then 8 and then 10. But because these are negative numbers, negative 10 is farthest from 0 on the other side. And therefore negative 10 becomes the smallest of these three numbers. That's on the far left, followed by negative 8 and then negative 1. And then you could have 2, 5 and 6. So this is the order of these numbers from smallest to largest.